Is the Indian government lying on Ladakh situation, border situation with China? Has China forced India to change line of actual control into India disadvantageous position? Question number 3. Is it a fact that on 5th of May, or rather 4th and 5th of May night, Chinese troops ingressed 8 kilometers into Indian side of the LAC in Ladakh and have now retreated back only by 2 kilometers, meaning thereby that they are still very much 6 kilometers inside LAC? Question number 4. Is it a fact that the so-called buffer zones created after the latest disengagement and de-escalation talks between India and China, the buffer zones are actually on the Indian side of the LAC? Question number 5. Is it a fact whether Indian troops can now patrol up to much less their own territory in Ladakh than what they used to do pre-May 5 position? This is the subject matter of today's video editorial, and these are the questions I am going to address. Friends, I am Rajeev Sharma. Now, if all the 5 questions mentioned above are correct, which actually they are, these are rhetorical questions. But then it gives rise to mother of all questions. If the government is lying, or if the government is hiding the truth, then what is the opposition doing? Why aren't the opposition parties on the streets? Had it been just the opposite, suppose if it were a non-BJP government at the center and BJP was the main opposition party, BJP by now would have been at the throats of the government. Noted defense analyst and a former army officer, Colonel Ajay Shukla, has come up with a shell-shocking, eye-opening, explosive piece of information, which is that India has actually shrunk its own LAC, shrunk its own territory. Now the redrawn LAC is to the disadvantage of India, and the redrawn LAC is 1 kilometer inside about our own territory, and the buffer zones are in our own territory, not on Chinese. Now, this gives rise to many more questions. The fundamental question is that we are dealing with a wily enemy which for past 7 decades has been on an expansionist mode quietly and covertly, without firing a single bullet, without waging a single war. This is China for you folks. China's expansionism started with Tibet. Now, why can't India give it back to China and start it from Tibet? China has been giving, for example, stapled visas to Indians domiciled in Jammu Kashmir and Arunachal Pradesh. Has India ever started stapled visas politics or diplomacy with China? How about starting issuing stapled visas to people domiciled in Tibet or in Xinjiang or now in Hong Kong? After China's new security law, which has got in force in Hong Kong, which has effectively ended the very old policy when Hong Kong was ceded back to China by UK years ago. It has now ended. One state, two administrations or two kinds of rules policy. It is really pathetic to see that the current Indian dispensation, much against its bravado, its high octane words and statements, is now silent. Why is it that our policies are reactive, not preemptive? Why is it that we have to only keep responding to China's expansionist policies? Earlier, 3 years ago, it was seen in Doklam. In 2020, now it is seen in Ladakh. Another point, why Government of India has failed to take advantage of a favorable international diplomatic climate which is in huge favor of India and solidly against China, to name major countries: US, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Europe. Now the latest example, say for example a few hours ago, China has threatened Australia with consequences after Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison announced scrapping the Australia's extradition treaty with Hong Kong after the new security law has kicked into place. Australia has also extended visas of 10,000 Hong Kongers who are living in Australia currently, and the visas have been extended indefinitely. Australia has also welcomed with open arms all those Hong Kongers who wish to emigrate to Australia and settle there. New Zealand, for example, has also hinted at reviewing its policy vis-a-vis Hong Kong under the new dispensation after the new rule, new security law in Hong Kong. Now, we could have really diplomatically, politically encircled China and made life more difficult for China. We haven't done any such thing. Instead, we have allowed them to, we have played into China's hands in virtually redrawing the LAC to our disadvantage. I have been saying again and again, folks. Now I come to the end of this video. I've been saying it and again that why can't the government of India come up with a white paper on Chinese incursions into India, Ladakh and Sikkim? Before I end this video, let me leave you with one poser. That is, as I said, that our policies are reactive, not preemptive, not proactive. Why is it that we have to react to a move by China? Why can't we make our own moves? Most importantly, why can't we guess and act? Why can't we guess their next move in the chess game, in this strategic chess game? And why can't we take steps accordingly, preemptive and proactive? So friends, I hope you will like this video and subscribe to my channel, Rajeev Kishkindha. Thank you very much.